Right after the victory of yesterday at the microphones, Igor Tudor said something and he confirmed what we were saying here in the post-game live, that he didn't like how the subs entered the game. He said that people, the players, they need to change that mentality of having the hierarchy, who is starting and who is actually subbing in. It's over because football totally changed. He said that we must grow extremely fast. We don't have a lot of times. Team over everything. Team over individuals, and I totally agree with him. Look, it's the third consecutive game of Igor Tudor on the bench of Juve, and it's not a coincidence that it's also the third game that Juventus is not able to score in the second half. We didn't score in the second half of Genoa, in the second half of Roma, and also yesterday we're not able to score a goal that would actually totally kill the game. From the moment that we will be able to score in these higher peaks in the momentum that you can see, that we are able to finalize, to be clinical, and to capitalize on these moments of huge dominations, we'll see an even better Juventus. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Looks like that intro that we are speaking about a draw or a loss. Not at all, because yesterday we won 2-1 with goals of Koopmeiners immediately and then Kenan Yildiz at the 33rd minute. And it's good, because mission is accomplished. At least the first of the three games. We won against Lecce, that was fundamental. Then we have Parma next week and then Monza. I told you, 9 on 9 is the mission to dream, not on the fourth spot, but the third spot. Look, yesterday was an important win, also because we are keeping away a Milan that is out of the top 4 race, but you never know in football. There are still a lot of points at disposal. Today, we are able to sit in front of the television watching Atalanta-Bologna that will start at 12:30 p.m. So we'll know immediately where we are in that ranking. Is it a draw, the best result between Atalanta and Bologna? Is it better that Bologna is winning? Is it better that the Atalanta is winning? I don't know. Honestly, at the moment, I don't know. It's something that we will know after the cycle of the 3 games that started with Lecce. And then, of course, in the evening, Lazio, Roma. Derby della Capitale, super important. But we did our mission, being third at the moment, watching them playing. Super important. If yesterday we didn't do our mission, would have been a total disaster. If there is one thing that I didn't like in the post-game live, is that some people, not everyone, of course, they have that kind of fish memory. We are analyzing only the last quarter. If Juventus goes with 2 goals, you know something has happened. Then we are super happy. We are celebrating. We are fantastically in a super mood. Fantastic Juve. We forget maybe about the first half that it is a disaster. The first game that comes in mind is maybe that Juve-Inter or Inter-Juve, I don't remember, that we win 1-0 with a total disaster first half of Juve. A bit lucky that we don't concede 2, if not 3 goals from Inter, with a really splendid, again, second half where Juventus was doing really well. And we remember that second half, that victory 1-0. Would it have been the second or the contrary? Probably would have talked about a total different game, about the dominant Juve in the first half, but then a total disaster, and we were lucky to not win. So that fish memory, sometimes we need to change, especially if we are speaking about the game of yesterday against Lecce. Tudor said it, really great in the first 80 minutes, but I didn't like the last 10 minutes, that we were absolutely not doing well. But in general, I am extremely happy. That's what we need to remember. Juventus did a really convincing first half. A really convincing, even more than first half, 81st minutes. Really beautiful Juve. The first half is fantastic. How many people were telling me here in the chat, Beppe, it's a long time that we didn't see a Juventus like that. A Juventus that was doing that. Look at the momentum. Totally dominant Juve, not only with possession but also with energy, a lot of attempts, not always on target, but a lot of attempts. Juventus was trying. Juventus wanted not to stop after the 2-0, which is beautiful news. We all remember Juventus stopping after the 1-0. Well, now after the 2-0, Juventus is continuing to push, looking for that third that didn't arrive. Second half, even if Lecce starts, and we started with a bit less aggressivity, a bit more tired, you see a Juventus that is taking the domination of the game without risking anything. And then we have again that peak of Juve that is trying again without being able to capitalize. And then we have the last 10 minutes. Last 10 minutes that are remembered by a lot of people, because it's true that also here I was extremely stressed. I said it would be an extremely pity that everything that we did, we are throwing it away. Just like that. Boom, it's over. Bow. Ciao, ciao. 1 point in Lecce, forget about top 3, forget about top 4, because then you are extremely in difficulty. But yesterday, looking also at the stats with the full domination in terms of possession, 66%, winning our duels, a lot of shots 22 attempts, 7 on target. Better in the second half, where we're a bit more precise than in the first one. Juventus did really well. What I enjoyed, for the people who are telling me, Beppe, it was not a great game, or it was a change of Juve. Or people are telling me, Beppe, it's exactly the same Juve. It's not. Look at that verticality. And it starts immediately, after 1 minute and 30 seconds, with a Thuram that could have gone with a retro pass, an easy pass, being cautious, not taking too much risks. What is he doing? He prefers to go immediately with that verticality, looking for Dusan Vlahovic. When Dusan Vlahovic receives that ball, also him has the possibility to go on the left, on the right, to temporize, to wait a bit. No, he prefers also to take that ball, put his body in front of the goal, and looking for la profondità, for the depth, also playing with vertical to Koopmeiners. Koopmeiners, of course, that a lot of people were asking, what is he doing? Why is Tudor playing Koopmeiners? Koopmeiners doesn't deserve to start the game. That's the reaction of a lot of people when we were announced what the official lineup would have been. Well, there is a retro story that I wanted to share with you, is that yesterday Koopmeiners in the pre-game, so in the warm-up, when they are warming up in the stadium, every time that he was touching the ball to shot with these attempts, every time he was putting it in the net. He was scoring. He scored all of them. I don't know how many attempts, but people from the stadium, they told me, Beppe, he was ready. He was ready because every single ball that he was going with an attempt, he was scoring. So it's not a coincidence. Things that we are not able to see, except if you go to the stadium, well, we are not able to see them, but the coach is seeing them, because we know it, the coach is also there on the field, watching the warm-up. He knows perfectly the state of mind and the physical condition of their players, because he has the opportunity to have them one entire week, seeing them every single day, sometimes even more than only once. And I think that Tudor knew perfectly that Koopmeiners, it was the game of restarting to give some trust to Koopmeiners. Will he be confirmed the next game? Well, it will depend on him. That 3-5-2, 3-4-2-1, let's say 3-4-2-1, I really start to appreciate it more and more and more, because the team is responding to it. We saw a lot of beautiful performances yesterday. I told you that according to me, and that's how it was voted here on the channel, Locatelli was MVP. Look at the heat map of Locatelli. Locatelli was everywhere, but seriously everywhere. And if it's not something new from Locatelli, that is always everywhere, this time everything that he was on the ball, he was doing something important. He was not losing time. He was always looking to play, which in the past sometimes this is what we were lacking. We saw a really disciplined Locatelli in defense, but we were lacking also the fact that he was building something. Yesterday we saw a kind of Miralem Pjanic performance that Sarri was asking. You remember, 150 balls per game. This is what I want him to touch. He never really reached them. Well, yesterday Locatelli was about to do what Sarri was asking to Pjanic. 146 ball touch in 90 minutes. Yesterday, 2 attempts, 1 on target, 127 passes, 92% pass accuracy, 3 tackles won on 5 attempts, 8 possession won, chances created 2. Locatelli was everywhere. Locatelli was everywhere, according to me, man of the match from the first minute until the last minute. Defensively, offensively, building up, trying. We see that it's a Locatelli that is trying also to go with attempts. Beautiful performance. And I think that even if he was MVP, according to me, well, it is also a lot thanks to Thuram, because the performance of Thuram yesterday was also there. Fantastic. I understood yesterday, watching the game, why Igor Tudor is playing Thuram. Why, even if Thuram was not training, there was a day where he didn't train in La Continassa, why he didn't put him on the bench? Why he didn't take him out at the 60th minute like I was asking for? Because Thuram is, at the moment, in this Juventus, essential. He is vital. He is crucial. We cannot play without Thuram at the moment. To tell you how much the Frenchman grew over the months that he is in a Bianconero shirt. Important, super important, doing a lot of dirty work, not only with we saw that first pass for the first goal to Dusan Vlahovic, and after that assist for Koopmeiners. Thuram was super important yesterday. And you know when I realized that this team cannot play without him? Around the 75th, 80th minute, especially 80 minute, where he's totally out of energy. He's starting to do these stupid mistakes because he's not lucid anymore, because he has no strength in the legs anymore. This is the moment where Juventus totally collapse. And he's risking not only to concede one goal, which we did, but maybe even to throw away some points. Kefren, Thuram, essential. We cannot play in this moment without Kefren. Super important to have him here. Then Kefren Thuram will be a world star player when he will be able to play 90 minutes with continuity and not losing sometimes balls that are extremely easy. Tudor yesterday said something. 2 days ago in press conference. Mettetemi in difficoltà. Put me in difficulty. I'm begging you, I'm asking you to put me in difficulty when I'm doing the lineups, when I decide who has to play. A message sent to his players, to a Conceição, to a Douglas Luiz, and to a Koopmeiners, to a Weah, etc., etc. When we saw yesterday how these players entered, I can tell you that they didn't put him in difficulty at all, because the choices that he made in the beginning of the game were totally confirmed from what we saw, because the players that entered, they didn't do well. They didn't do well at all. Koopmeiners, difficult, really in difficulty, even if he didn't receive a lot of balls. And it's already the second game where Juventus is less powerful that he's entering the game. I would be curious to see him from the beginning of the game. But when he's there, it's difficult. It's really difficult in that moment of the game. So he's not the guy that is able to control that ball and taking that ball, at least in the 2 games that we saw him playing with Tudor. Yesterday, Conceição, that was more smoke than fire. We really didn't see it. Then how Cambiaso is entering, it's not convincing me. He's not convincing me that he really wants to enter. Not a beautiful performance from the Italian 25-year-old boy. And Weah, that yesterday he touched, 33 balls. Well, on 33 balls, he missed 30 of them. Disaster Weah yesterday. Now you'll tell me, Beppe, but why are they playing on the left and on the right? Inverted position. It is for 2 reasons. The first one, and this is what I really appreciate with Tudor, is because he's having a dialogue with these players. And they are telling them that in that 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, they prefer, they are feeling more comfortable on the left for Weah, on the right for Cambiaso, which means that Igor Tudor opens his mind totally, listening to the players as well, dialoguing, finding a compromise with them. Okay, you prefer like that? I will put you in the second half. Show me what you got. They didn't. One. The second, because we are not looking too much at doing crosses. This is not the idea of football of Igor, but he loves to cut inside, and cut inside with inverted foot could possibly be also a reason why these players were inverted in this position. Was it successful? Absolutely not, but I think, and Tudor said it yesterday, it's more a behavior thing than something else. Cambiaso also at fault on the goal that we concede, because the first idea, the first opinion was Kelly is at fault on the goal that we concede, and yes, he's also at fault, but not only. That again confirms what I told you. Juventus is systematically doing mistakes more than individually doing mistakes on these set pieces that we concede. Total disaster. Yesterday you see it on the images that I show you here, that the cross is coming. Cambiaso and Kelly should be on the man, on Bascherotto. What is happening is that Cambiaso is taking the lead, saying, I will go for it, I will jump. Not able to jump, that ball goes over him, and then you have a Kelly that is not able anymore to go because Cambiaso is obstructing him. Kelly, it's already the second time that he's turning his back when the striker is going on target. This is something that he needs to pay attention for. Always facing, not turning yourself, otherwise you are in difficulty. But that goal is to share, again, towards a zone. Something that all of our players need to do much better. Otherwise we are risking. Did I appreciate the performance of Nico Gonzalez? Yes. Yes, I like in a right wing back the performance of Nico. When Tudor said, put me in difficulty to choose to the other players, well, according to me, the Argentinian is really convincing in that position. Of course, I would love to see him in that position against bigger teams, stronger teams that are able to put him in difficulty. But from what I saw against Genoa and Lecce, the guy is really working hard. He's really a workhorse, disciplined, he goes for it, he's absolutely not doubting defensively, offensively. He's losing a bit his mind. And he's not that decisive offensively because he's spending a lot of energy. Grande Nico Gonzalez, that I need to say, on these easy balls at 5 minutes of the start of the game, you are still lucid. So these are balls that you cannot lose because it could have put Lecce at a 1-1 with a post of Kristovic. So pay attention to these controls, Nico, because it's not the first time that we are seeing them. There is a player that is not putting Tudor in difficulty. It's really clear that this guy needs to play from the first minute every single game, and it is Kenan Yildiz. Look at the goal. Look at that second goal. That is really, really beautiful. Where does it start? With Locatelli, MVP. We didn't speak about it because we are always focusing that fish memory on the last moments, but go back to the initial part of that attempt or that goal. It's Locatelli that goes really vertical, taking a really difficult decision here, because he could have gone easily to Kelly that is on his left. No, he prefers to go vertical to Thuram. Thuram that is taking that ball and he is running. La spécialité de la maison, the specialty of the house of Kefren Thuram, carrying the ball, going up, taking all the team with him. He sees Kenan Yildiz, and here I have to say that that pass from Thuram is not perfect. It's really actually difficult because Yildiz is in the run. He cannot stop. That ball is not perfect where he needs to be, but Yildiz is doing something that is even more beautiful than the goal. Is giving him that pass in 1-2 immediately, being totally unbalanced. This, my friends, is a level of difficulties that is extremely high. Being able to be unbalanced, to already know what to do, and putting that ball perfectly for Thuram was, according to me, caviar. Beautiful, beautiful. Thuram that continues. We play with Dusan Vlahovic, and Dusan Vlahovic, the second assist of the evening. Boom. He's putting that ball where it needs to be, and we go with a Kenan Yildiz snooker. You know who was scoring goals like that in that degree of difficulty? Roberto Baggio. I don't want to make any comparison, but if you were able to enjoy a few goals of Roberto Baggio, go on highlights and skill, you will see that that was one of the labels, one of the stamps, one of the specialty of the house of Roberto Baggio. What a beautiful goal. Extremely difficult where you see the position where he's taking it. Is it a coincidence that Kenan Yildiz is the top scorer of Igor Tudor? 3 games, 2 goals? No, because yesterday after the game he said it himself. Giocare così mi rende più felice. Playing like that makes me more happy, makes me smile, makes me performing better. And I think that Juventus is entertaining Juve. If not for 90 minutes, we are growing. First solve for sure. We saw it against Roma. We saw it against Genoa. We saw it yesterday. We must continue to grow also for 90 minutes because then it will be beautiful. But the first mission is accomplished. Juventus 2, Lecce 1. We take our popcorn. We sit on our sofa and we watch Atalanta Bologna at 12:30 and Lazio Roma at 8:45 p.m. Italian time. Grazie. Forza. Juve.